So here's the first instructional videos on the guitar, on how to hold your guitar and how to finger the fretboard. And if you just go to your manual that you all have, you want to go to pages 5 through 8. That's essentially what I'm going to be covering today, and what the content of what I'm covering today is how to hold your guitar and how to finger the fretboard. As I said, it's covered in pages 5 through 8 in the manual. Let's look at how you hold the guitar. The guitar has to be kept under control. That's the essential duty that you have with the guitar that you don't have, for instance, with a piano, which just sits in front of you and you play it. A guitar doesn't cooperate that fully. You actually have to hold the guitar. You have to get the guitar into a stable position that allows you to play with your left hand, which is the working hand on the guitar, which is different from a lot of piano players whose right hand is the working hand. But let's take a look at how you secure this guitar. There are better ways of doing this. This is the way that most pop guitarists would play if they're sitting down and they're playing off their right leg. And you'll notice if you see classical guitarists who are utterly superb musicians that they play off the left leg, and that just is a little tough for older learners, and it just never really quite feels comfortable because they can't devote the kind of practice hours that it entails to make that feel comfortable. So I'm just going to use the way that you're going to see when you turn Unplugged on and just go see anybody play guitar at coffee houses and other venues. So what you want to do is this is called a dreadnought design, this guitar, and you have this nice little curved surface that fits nicely on your right leg, assuming you're all right-handers. And I cross my right leg over my left because that brings that sound hole essentially right in the middle. It bisects my body, and I look down, and my nose is like right in between that, right in the middle of that sound hole. And I have the guitar now secured here. I have the guitar secured against my chest, and I have the guitar secured at the crook of this arm over here. That leaves this cantilever thing out here that needs some control because it can be moved very easily that way. I have to control that with my left hand. What I do with my left hand is, once again, just a way to get comfortable, is to hold your arm straight down and come up, and the crook right in here, that little V, will fit right at the corner of your guitar, right at the at this plane, this curved plane of the guitar, and that should enable you to arc your fingers over the guitar so the knuckles are as much as possible pointed upward. There's a reason for that. Let's look at that. So everything on a D chord, which we'll get to in a subsequent lesson, everything in a D chord like that is nice and loud and clear, and the way it should sound. Now, in holding the guitar like this, I'm 3 points here on my right side, remember. On my left side, I'm applying some control to that guitar, but I want to minimize, and you will want to, no matter how long you play the guitar, minimize the amount of actual control that you're exercising out here in this left hand. Minimize that so that it maximizes your playing ability, so you can move along the fretboard. When you're holding it properly, you should not be white knuckle pressing in, but you do have to press in. You have to press into the fretboard. If you don't press into the fretboard, a chord that looks like this, through no alterable change to your eye, can sound like this. And the reason is I'm not pressing in hard enough on the fretboard. If I press in a little harder, it's back to the way that it should sound. So, to review on holding the guitar, you have a point here on your leg where the guitar rests and is fitted nicely through years of design improvements, fits nicely on your leg, and that obviously provides support so that your guitar can't slip to the floor. You have a point on your chest that provides another point of support. Another point of support is out here at the crook of your arm, which should fall over nicely over the center of the sound hole. And then you have out here, bringing your arm straight up like that, you have another point of control. But that point of control is the one that you want to minimize because you need to play the guitar. Your hands have to be free to play the guitar and move around, at least initially, between chords and move around quickly and easily without messing up the sound of those chords. Now, let's talk about the chords briefly. When you make chords, there's really only two things